6. CBN saves. Okay, that's all I have on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Joel to read more.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Okpe. Once again, good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Ibadan. Good morning, everybody. I have Daily Independent with me. And also, federal government places diaspora sponsor on watch list. Fruit flag during protest. Places diaspora sponsor on watch list. Fruit flag during protest. Who committed treason. That is coming from PDP. They are telling the protester demands PDP for telling Tinubu. And also police will fish out mastermind of Igbo must go Lagos. That is on the Igbo must go in Lagos State. They said police would fish out those mastermind people. Then River APC accused Fubara of masterminding party secretary attack. And we have other stories. CBN OK's Provideo's Unity Bank's merger to avert failure. Those are the stories on front page of the Daily Independent.
Okay, I have the Nation newspaper with me. The Nation newspaper, the lead story on the Nation newspaper says, cost of living protest fizzle out in more states, Abuja, and the right other side, Katsina, Kano relax curfew by 12 hours. Another rather says, mobile court remands 632 routers. Moving on from that, on Edo, 4.3 million Nigerians get direct cash transfer, 1 million to benefit monthly. Moving on from that to the top of the paper this morning, federal government inaugurates steering committee for digital free zone. Another story I'll be taking from page 7 says, CBN OK's merger of Unity Providence Bank move aids stability. That's right under it. On page 5, students top list of 4.68 million voters in Edo, Ondo polls, and right under it says, agency will be free, fair. On page 7, 1.4 million jobs on offer from cotton and textile sector. The rather on that says, the revamping process begins. That's all I have on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning.
Yeah, I have the story on the front page of Daily Trust newspaper. Edu returns unlikely as Tinubu makes key changes in humanitarian affairs ministry. I also have the story, Indume apologizes over Tinubu comment. APC consider restatement as cheap whip. The story, 70-year-old woman's son, grandchildren dies after eating amala in Kaduna. That is sad. It's a sad story. And on protest, how 4 teenagers bride to be were killed in Kano. That is sad in Zakariyah State. And I have a rider under it, humanity. That is coming from Atiku. Federal government places sponsor on watch list. I think this is on the front page of all the papers today. And we are investigating incidents. Army is telling the police. These are riders under the story concerning the protest. Why Shell decline offer to run Nigerian refinery? That is coming from former President Olusegun Obasanjo. CBN approves Unity Provideo's bank mergers. I also read that story. He is saying that Niger petitioners get benefits 21 years after retirement. I think that is good news from Niger State pensioners. That is all the stories on the front page of Daily Trust newspaper.
Okay, the last paper I have here, that's this day newspaper. The lead story there says, on military, we will resist attempt to force regime change. And right, it has a triple rider. The first rider says, federal government places protest sponsors in diaspora on watch list, freezes their local account. Another rider says, no mercy, and on Sunning, protest sponsored. It is about regime change, not hardship or bad governance. Another story here says, Obasanjo laments graft in oil sector, says Nigerians over-reliance on fossil fuel deadly mistake. The rider on that says, says we ignore agriculture, which could have been centerpiece of our investment. These are the stories I can take on this day newspaper this morning, and these are the stories we have on the front pages of our national dailies. We have to go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll be back with the details. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, what's happening? This is your homie Plies, man.
Hey, yo, what's poppin', man? It's your boy Bow Weezy, man. Straight up.
This is Ed Sheeran.
Hi, I'm Charlie Puth.
Hi, this is Paul McCartney.
Your systems are offline.
Tune in to Erie 96.1 FM, the majestic station that rules the sound waves. Join us.
It is good to take your business to the next level. Iṣẹ́ àlọ́sókè tó bá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Succeed Supreme Concept Limited. Ilé iṣẹ́ alùpùpù tó mọ̀ nípa ẹni wá. Ìbàdàn làwa o.
Succeed Supreme Concept Limited. Ilé-iṣẹ́ alùpùpù tí kì í jáde kulẹ̀. Àǹsì transport services bá ní pèsè irúfẹ́ mọ́tò yòówù tẹ́ nílò lọ́jọ́kọjọ́ nígbàkigbà. À ń bá ní ti ilé àtọ́fíìsì. Cleaning services. Bí ẹ fẹ́ ralẹ̀ talẹ̀. Iṣẹ́ wa ni àwa ètò property. A tún kún fóònù lóríṣiríṣi. Àwa ni event planner tó kájú ẹ̀ fún gbogbo ayẹyẹ tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ ṣe. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà tún bá ní polówó ọjà lórí rédíò, tẹlifíṣọ̀n tàbí newspaper. A tún ṣe branding mọ́tò, cup, t-shirt, face cap àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ la ń bá ní polówó ọjà lójú billboard. Signage. Ṣètò sọ́fíìsì wa tó wà ní Moron Fọlá Abẹ́gbẹ́ shopping complex. Opposite Alaka Vayed Bridge. Airport area Ìbàdàn. Telephone 081-2828-4747 tàbí 091-5111-5000. Succeed Supreme Concept Limited. We take your business to the next level at a cheaper rate.
You are locked into Erie 96.1 FM, the majestic station that rules the sound waves.
In the heart of Africa, where the sun's golden rays illuminate the vast landscape, a kingdom of pride and heritage awaits. Welcome to the realm where royalty thrives, where the spirit of kingship echoes through the ages. Discover the majestic allure of being a king. This is Erie 96.1 FM. We are the king.
You welcome back from that break, and it's gladdened my heart knowing fully that you are right there with us on Erie 96.1 FM. Thank you for staying tuned to Erie 96.1 FM, and we've moved past the first segment of this program. Now we're back with more details of the list story on the front pages of our national dailies. Now I'll be quick starting with the Punch newspaper, and the list story on the Punch newspaper says on Russian flag. Federal government probes for northern political bigwigs, and the story says Nigerian security agencies are investigating at least 4 politicians from the country's northern part over the use of Russian flags by end-body governors protesters. Multiple sources told the newsman that the political bigwigs who hailed from Katsina, Kaduna and Kano State were principal actors who instigated the use of Russian flags among demonstrators in the north to fan the embers for an unconstitutional regime change. You say 4 principal actors have been identified in this issue. They are top politicians from Katsina, Kano, and Kaduna. They played prominent roles in the election of last year, that was 2023. The source ended. Another source who spoke on condition of anonymity to the newsman, there is evidence of external influence mainly involving the politicians who are convincing with a West African and European country to cause mayhem and promote the use of flags. We are saying they want to do what they did in some other countries. The nationwide protest against hardship and hunger took a dangerous dimension on Monday, with protesters in some northern states waving the Russian flag as they chant Tinubu must go. Protesters in Kaduna were seen waving the Russian flag and chanting in Hausa. There is more to this story. Do well to read more on Russian flag. Federal government probes 4 northern political bigwigs. And don't forget we're live on Facebook at Erie 96.1 FM Ibadan. Erie 96.1 FM Ibadan. And you can be part of the show. You can also head over to our Facebook at Erie 96.1 FM and call or by calling our studio line on 09056 969 09056 969
Yeah, thank you very much, my lovely colleagues. I'll be taking my first story from the Nation newspaper on employment and related to education. Unemployment, federal government to deploy skills among youth. That is coming from Minister. The Minister of Education, Professor Tai Mama, has directed the National Board for Technical Education and the Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council to develop skill curriculum for adoption and implementation. Mama spoke at a pre-validation meeting of stakeholders on the national policy on skill development in Abuja. The minister urged the agency to come up with a skills curriculum for all levels of education and make it ready before the commencement of the next academic session in September. He said the implementation of the skills curriculum by school would help in addressing learning crises across the country. Also, Mama expressed concern over the looting in Kaduna, Kano, Sokoto, occasioned by the End Bad Governance protest. If you are interested in this story, he also goes further. The minister described the looter as mostly young Nigerians without skills. The only solution to address the skill gap is to expose the younger ones to skills. If you are interested in these stories, do well to pick the Nation newspaper with the heading on employment, federal government to develop skills among youths.
4,800 Nigerian illegal migrants rescued in 7 years. This is coming from IOM. No fewer than 4,877 victims of human trafficking from Nigeria have voluntarily returned to the country since 2017. A report by the International Organization for Migration has shown the victim returned to Nigeria under the IOM's Assistance Voluntary Return and Reintegration Program, with women and girls constituting nearly 88%, that's 4,221 of the returnees, while men accounted for 13%, 616. The data has shown that most victims fall within the age bracket of 18 to 39 years, with those aged 18 to 25 being particularly susceptible to recruitment by traffickers. Within the figure first quarter of 2024 alone, the IOM said they facilitated the return of 167 victims to Nigeria, 81% of whom were female. However, this trend is not new. In 2022, for instance, the number of female victims reached its peak with 908 identified cases, whereas male victims were significantly fewer, peaking at 166 in the same year. In the period reviewed, economic instability was a predominant reason for irregular migration, with a staggering 94% of victims citing the search for better economic opportunities as their primary motivation. There is more to this story. 4,800 Nigerian illegal migrants rescued in 7 years, and this is coming from IOM. Joel to read more this morning.
Yeah, my next story on the Nation newspaper is on politics, and this is coming from Ndume saying, "I apologize to APC, but I stand by my words," says Ndume. Senate Chief Whip Ali Ndume yesterday apologized to the leadership of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, for not consulting the party before publicly criticizing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. But the Borno South senator insisted that he stood by his words. "Whatever I said or whatever I did was out of patriotism." Ndume was replaced by Senator Muhammad, following a letter by the ruling party to sanction him for his unguided statements against the president. In the letter, jointly signed by the APC National Chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, and National Secretary, Senator Ajibola Basiru, APC directed the upper chamber to sanction Ndume for deliberately failing to the party a machinery to vent his anger before going public, despite being a senior member and lawmaker of the ruling party. This story goes on and is so interested. If you are interested in political stories, do well to pick the Nation newspaper. "I apologize to APC, but I stand by my words," says Ndume.
INEC releases a Ondo final voter register. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has released the final voters register for the upcoming Edo and Ondo governorship election. The decision followed a meeting held by the Commission on Tuesday, as contained in a statement signed by the National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumekun. The Edo State governorship election is scheduled for September 21st, 2024, within the exercise will be held in Ondo State on November 16, 2024. The new register incorporates new voters from the recent continuous voter registration and includes successful applicants for transfers from other states to Edo and Ondo State. The statement noted that Edo State now has 2,629,025 registered voters. Among these, 1,370,061 are male, representing 52.11%, and while 1,258,964 are female, making up 47.89%. Youth age 18 to 35 accounted for 983,133 voters, which is 37.4%. The middle age group, age 36 to 49, comprise 914,806 individuals, collectively constituting 72.2% of the registered voters, and 868,740 students constitute the majority of voters, or 33.5%. Additionally, there are 4,199 persons with disabilities, representing 0.16% of the voters in the state. The new register represents a 4.9% increase over 2023 general election figure of 2,501,081. There is more to this story. Do well to pick more. Do well to read more this morning on the Punch newspaper. INEC releases Ondo final vote registers.
Yeah, another story from the Nation newspaper, and is a story going to the pensioners. I can't just but not be the story. PENCOM DG assumed duties. At least we have the pensioners asked to know what is going on in their sector. The National Pension Commission, PENCOM, Director General Omolola Oluraron has assumed duties, but she is to serve in acting capacity pending her confirmation by the Senate, in line with the provision of Section 26(1) of the Pension Reform Act 2014. PENCON in a statement said Omolola is poised to employ new frontier in the implementation of the Contributory Pension Scheme, CPS, by sustaining pension assets on the growth, ensuring increased CPS membership, and supporting coverage expansion initiative. She is committed to be expeditious payment of retirement benefit while deepening the pension investment horizon for enhanced return to contributor and retirees. Retirees, I know you will be interested in these stories. Do well to pick the Nation newspaper. PENCOM DG assumed duty.
Suspend capital project, address hunger, Macban tells federal government. The Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria on Tuesday called on the federal government to suspend spending on capital projects such as road construction and channel available resources towards subsidizing food, medicine, and other essential needs in the country. Macban's the national president of Macban, Alhaji Baba, made the call in an interview with the newsmen in Abuja amid the tension in the country occasioned by the nationwide hunger protest, which began on August 1st. Nigerians have been facing difficulty and over skyrocketing food prices following the removal of fuel subsidies and the floating of naira by the federal government. The hunger protesters are calling on President Bola Tinubu to reverse the two policies in order to ease citizens' burden. On Tuesday, the Macban president said the government should increase spending on foodstuff. There is no need to spend money on construction. Let all capital projects like road construction and others stop for a while and address the issue of food security, medicine, and security challenges squarely. The government should focus on the provision of food and medicine as a subsidizing rate and affordable for the ordinary man. Declare a state of emergency in the economics, suspend all capital projects in the budget, and address the issue of food security squarely. Baba said. On insecurity, he urged the federal government to foster dialogue to resolve the conflict between others and farmers in the country. Baba said the government should get the views of those in the forest, farmers who always complain of bandit attack, vigilante groups who are working to protect the communities against attack. There is more to this story. You can track it up on the Punch newspaper with the headline, Suspend capital projects, address hunger, Macban tells federal government. And we have to go on a break. When we come back, we'll be back with more details this morning. Stay tuned to Aare 96.1 FM.
Take your business to the next level. Iṣẹ́ á lọ sókè tó bá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Zakariyah Supreme Concept Limited. Ilé iṣẹ́ alùpùpù tó mọ̀ nípa ẹni wá. Ìbàdàn làwa o.
Zakariyah Supreme Concept Limited. Iléeṣẹ́ alukoro tí kì í jánikulẹ̀. Aare transport services bá ní pèsè irúfẹ́ mọ́tò yòówù tẹ́ nílò lọ́jọ́kọjọ́ nígbàkigbà. À ń bá ní tún ilé àtọ́fíìsì ṣe. Clearing services. Bí ẹ fẹ́ ra lẹ̀ talẹ̀. Iṣẹ́ wa ni àwa ètò property. A tún tún fóònù lóríṣiríṣi. Àwa ni event planner tó kájú ẹ̀ fún gbogbo ayẹyẹ tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ ṣe. Bẹ́ẹ̀ la tún bá ní polówó ọjà lórí rédíò, tẹlifíṣọ̀n tàbí newspaper. A tún ṣe branding motor, cup, t-shirt, face cap àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ la ń bá ní polówó ọjà lójú big board, sign terminate. Second office wa tó wà ní Moro Fọlá Abẹ́gbẹ́ shopping complex. Opposite Alake Overhead Bridge. Airport area Ìbàdàn. Telephone 081-2828-4747 tàbí 091-5111-5000. Succeed Supreme Concept Limited will take your business to the next level at a cheaper rate.
Erie 96.1 FM. We are the king.
Moving ahead to the Guardian newspaper, I have the story on new minimum wage. Ondo Nasarawa assure workers of payments. I think that is good news coming from those states. The Ondo State government on Tuesday expressed its readiness to pay the 70,000 naira national minimum wage to the civil servants. The state head of service, Mr. Bayo Phillips, stated this while speaking in his office in Aare, the state capital. The minimum wage was approved by President Bola Tinubu last month after a series of negotiations with the organized labor union in the country. According to him, the governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has repeatedly assured all that this administration will not do anything less than whatever is approved by the federal government as a national minimum wage for workers. He noted that the state government also extended the gesture to retirees and workers in all state-owned tertiary institutions as a way to the current economic situation in the country. Similarly, the Nasarawa state government said it was ready to pay the new minimum wage of 70,000 naira to civil servants in the state. Peter, senior special advisor, to the governor Abdullahi Sule on public affairs, stated this on Tuesday in Lafia. If you are interested in these stories, and in which I know most people from that state will be interested, do well to pick the Guardian newspaper with this heading on new minimum wage. Ondo Nasarawa assure workers of payments.
Okay, thank you for staying tuned to Erie 96.1 FM, and don't forget we're streaming live on Facebook at Erie 96.1 FM Ibadan. We have couples of our comments there already. We'll definitely take them, and you can drop your comments as well. We have Agumbi Ade Sherif Aguns, we have Taiwo Pretty, we have Sacho Phillips Adewale, we have Ariyo Israel. Ariyo Israel says, beautiful morning to everyone in the studio. The rate of insecurity in the country now is too alarming, and security of lives and property shouldn't be the work of a particular security agency. They have to synergize together to put an end to this scourge of killings, kidnapping and banditry. That is now the order of the day in the Nigerian, and the political will to end the menace is missing on the part of the APC federal government. I urge President Bola Tinubu to empower the state police with sophisticated weapons. Ashe Makinde has been empowering Oyo State security agencies with vehicles and gadgets needed to ensure they perform effective, and that we must confess have been helpful. You can also drop your comments there. Now I've moved from the Punch newspaper to the Vanguard newspaper. The first story I'll be taken from the Vanguard newspaper says Naira raises to 1,585 Naira per dollar in parallel market. The Naira yesterday appreciated to 1,585 Naira per dollar in the parallel market from 1,600 Naira per dollar on Monday. Similarly, the Naira yesterday appreciated to 1,601 Naira per dollar in the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market (NAFEM). Data from FMDQ shown that the indicative exchange rate from NAFEM fell to 1,600 naira, 1 naira per $1 from 1,607 naira 0.15 per dollar on Monday, indicating a 6.15 naira rise for the naira. The volume of dollars traded in the markets declined by 19.7% to $61.9 million from $77.09 million traded on Monday. Subsequently, the margin between the parallel market and the NAFEM rate widened to 16 naira per dollar from 7.15 naira per dollar on Monday. There is more to this story, though we'll track it up on the Vanguard newspaper. Naira rises to 1,585 naira per dollar in parallel market.
Okay, moving forward, another story is coming from the same Guardian newspaper. Tinubu's dialogue call ECOWAS tell protesters. The Economic Committee of West African States, ECOWAS, has urged protesters in Nigeria to heed President Bola Tinubu's call for dialogue. In a statement, the Commission deeply regretted reports of violence in the course of the protest and the unfortunate death of some protesters, as well as alleged looting and destruction of public and private properties. The Commission extends heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families and sympathizes with government and people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria over the losses. The regional bloc said it recognized the right of citizens to peaceful protest as guaranteed by the 2021 ECOWAS Supplementary Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance and enshrine the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Meanwhile, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has described citizens' criticizing President Bola Tinubu over his speech on the ongoing End Bad Governance protest as individual intentions. He said the critics intended to force the president to negotiate power with them. Keyamo stated this through a short statement he posted on his X handle on Tuesday. If you are interested in what Keyamo said about people's intention towards President Tinubu's speech, do well to pick the Guardian newspaper. And with this heading, Tinubu's dialogue call, ECOWAS tells protesters.
Still on the Vanguard newspaper, Tinubu appoints new heads of agencies under Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of 7 persons to head strategic agencies and programs under the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. A statement issued last night by presidential spokesman Chief Ajuri Ngilale explained that the appointment was aimed at facilitating the needed relief to Nigerians and ensure the effectiveness of humanitarian and social development programs. According to the statement, Dr. Badamasi Lawal is appointed as the Chief Executive Officer, National Social Investment Program Agency. Dr. Lawal holds a doctorate degree in education, and he previously served as a commissioner in Katsina. Ms. Fumilola Olotu is a program management. There is more to this story. Do well to read more. If you are interested, Tinubu appoints new heads of agencies under Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. And don't forget to be live on Facebook at Iri 96.1 FM Ibadan. And the number to call this morning to be part of the show is 09056 969961. Let's know your thoughts on some of this story. Tinubu appoints new head. What is your thoughts on the story? And we have different story on our national dailies this morning. Different story, different dramas there. Let's know your thoughts on some of these stories. 09056 969961 09056 969961.
Yeah, moving forward, we have to be aware of this story. Federal government inaugurates steering committee for digital free zone to boost global technology. In a bid to position Nigeria as home for global digital trade and innovation, the federal government has launched an initiative to establish digital-free zone in the country. Chaired by the President Bola Tinubu, Ahmed Tinubu, a steering committee has been inaugurated to oversee the establishment of this. Yeah, you can pick the call.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Ms. Mariam.
Yes, this is Leon. I'm calling from Odessa.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Still on the protest.
Okay, go on.
It gladdens my heart that we still haven't heard of any casualty here in Oyo State. And I believe it's as the result of the governor's intervention, because I heard that he promised us maximum security. So I only implore protesters from other states to make it a peaceful one, so that at the end of the day, it will not be a wasted effort. That's my case. Good morning.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Thank you so much. Very concise and
Moving
detailed.
forward.
Thank you so much.
Moving forward, the committee was chaired by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he has inaugurated to oversee the establishment of these digital-free zones. Digital-free zones are designed to attract and support technology, finance, and service-oriented businesses in a conducive environment tailored in the 21st century digital trade and technological age. The details are contained in a statement in Abuja by the Director, Information and Public Relations, Federal Ministry of Finance, Mohammed Maga. Members of the committee include the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, and Vice Chairman, Attorney General of Federation and Minister of Justice. If you are interested in this story because it deals with technology and there is something that will help us as a country in terms of finance and businesses, do well to pick the Guardian newspaper with this heading: Federal government inaugurates steering committees for digital-free zone to boost global technology.
Okay, still on the still on the Vanguard newspaper. Nasarawa HIV positive nursing mothers lament hunger. No fewer than 7,000 underprivileged breastfeeding mothers living with HIV and AIDS, Nasarawa State have called on both the federal and state government to assist them with basic sources of livelihood in order to survive the current economic situation of the country. The lactated mothers said their inability to eat good meals due to the hardship had accounted for the poor practice of exclusive breastfeeding and the rise in child and maternal mortality in the state. A former coordinator of the network of people living with HIV and AIDS in the state, Philip Lakoko, made it positive of the breastfeeding mothers known during an event to mark the 2024 World Breastfeeding Week tag Closing the Gap, Breastfeeding for All in Latvia on Thursday. He explained that over 15,000 breastfeeding mothers had tested positive for HIV and AIDS in the state, but only 7,000 women had identified themselves publicly to seek help over the prevailing hardship in the state and country. He said, and I quote, "Most lactating mothers can hardly afford 3 square meals, which is a major factor contributing to the low level of giving their children breast milk. At least for the first 6 months of birth, breast milk remains the best food for the child, at least during the first 6 months of birth. If they do not have enough food to eat, they obviously will have not strength to breastfeed their children." There is more to this story. What is your take? Nasarawa HIV positive nursing mother lament hunger. What is your take on this story? The number to call is 09056 969961. 09056 969961.
Yeah, the next story I'll be taking is on issue of drugs and is a drug war. NDLA operative undergo training, for them to achieve their aim and curb drug issue in our country. Operative of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have undergo basic driving training to complement the war against drug trafficking and shipment into Nigeria. It was learned that 8 officers were selected from 4 countries. They include 2 personnel from the Marine Command of NDLEA picked by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime to undergo training in Brazil. The training came in 2 phases, first in November 2023 and then July 2024. The driving course was initiated to strengthen the fight against drug trafficking and transnational crime activities in 4 countries. I think this is a good one for NDLEA, at least putting the officers in training for, at least, if it is not totally curb, at least it will be treated issue of drug trafficking into our country. If you are interested in the story, do well to pick the Guardian newspaper with this heading, "On Drug War, NDLEA operative undergo driving training."
Naira cruise sale yet to happen. Operators reveal this. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery and other domestic refineries have yet to start the purchase of crude oil in Naira as directed by President Bola Tinubu. It was that the $20 billion plant and other local refineries in Nigeria had yet to start buying crude oil from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited in Naira as instructed by Tinubu last week. The Crude Oil Refiners Association of Nigeria said letters have been written by NNPC by individual refiners requesting crude, but there has been no response yet. The Federal Executive Council recently adopted a proposal by Tinubu to sell crude to the Dangote refinery and other upcoming refiner in Naira. FEC approved that the 450,000 barrels meant for the domestic consumption be offered in Naira to Nigerian refiners. Using the Dangote refinery as a pilot, the exchange rate will be fixed for the duration of the transaction. However, almost 1 week after the announcement, the refiners said they had not heard from the NNPC. The publicity secretary of the Crude Oil Refiners Association of Nigeria, Eche Idokio, said the Nigerian midstream and downstream petroleum authorities is expected to kickstart the process. We have not started buying crude from NNPC. Individual members have written to them NNPC already, and they have several requests from these refineries before them. There is more to this story. Do well to read more this morning. We have a caller. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, do well to call us back on 09056969961. 09056969961.
Now, this story is coming from Edo State, talking about the issue of food program. More out of touch with facts about food program. The special advisor to the Edo State Governor on Media, Osage, has berated the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Abubakar Momo, that for attempting to mislead the public on the state government feeding program. Nothing that claims by the minister that the bags of rice allocated to the state by the federal government were rebagged and distributed by the state government is completely false and merciless. In a statement, Osage said that the state government had in March 2024 designed a feeding program that was implemented through religious institutions in the state, with over 2.2 billion naira released to Christians and Muslim bodies to implement the program, which has been very successful. He said the case of looted bag of rice referenced by the minister has been put to rest by Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, who has explained that it was an incident at the recent of one of its vendors. Unfortunately, the All Progressive Congress APC, whose propaganda the minister appeared to echo in his interview on national television, seems to have asked to agreed with the Christian umbrella body. If you are interested in this issue of food program in Edo State and the APC scandal propaganda, do well to pick the Guardian newspaper with this heading, Momo out of touch with fact about food program.
On Edun, 4.3 million Nigerians get direct cash transfer. No fewer than 4.3 million Nigerians have received direct cash transfer from the federal government. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economic, Mr. Wale Edun, said yesterday. He said 1 million citizens were reached in the last few weeks, while the target is to transfer cash to 1 million vulnerable Nigerians each month. The minister spoke on a business program of the national television, during which he outlined the federal government's comprehensive plan to address the current economic challenges. Speaking further, he said the government was expanding its cash transfer program to support the poorest and most vulnerable. The program, he said, had reached 4.3 million people with plans to increase their number rapidly. Right now, it is about 4.3 million, but the last million was in the last few weeks. And when I say we are wrapping at a rate of 1 million per month, that is an ongoing process. Edun said he projected that the program could potentially scale assist 1 million people per week or every 2 weeks, depending on technological capacity, and that is the story. Do well to read more this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hello. Okay, do well to call us back on 09056 969961. 09056 969961. If you are interested, the stories at the headline says on Edun, 4.3 million Nigerians get direct cash transfer. What is your take on all of this story? What is your take? Let us know. Okay.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. This is Ruth calling from Malacca.
Ruth, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I want to contribute on the protest.
Okay.
You know, if the government has done the needful, of which...
Yeah, go on. We are listening.
Yes. Of which if they have given us good power supply, security, develop our own refinery, we won't be going on the streets in the first place. So we all them to do the needful. And I must commend the protesters here in Oyo State for making the protest to be peaceful. So that's my own take. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ruth. Thank you so much for contributing to the program. Okay, this is where we call it a wrap on the show this morning. Let me quickly go to our Facebook to pick some of the comments. This is coming from Imafuji Peter. Says, good morning in the studio, multi-talented presenters. Nigeria's president and all the security agencies must put hunger, poverty, insecurity, unemployment, and corruption on their security watch list. They must not let these 5 subversive elements enter Nigeria in order for peace to reign. May God bless and heal our land. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. We appreciate all of you, all of our listeners on our Facebook and our callers. Thank you for staying tuned to Aare 96.1 FM. We appreciate Mustafa Taiwo. Thank you so much for your time. Mafoji Peter, thank you. Ariyo Israel, thank you. Sajo Phillips, thank you so much. Taiwo Pute, Agumbiade, Sherry.